team. Good afternoon. Hope you are doing well. Thanks for joining our Metroplex Tamil Sangam live session. And along with our panelists and all the volunteers, I'm welcoming everyone. I know that you all are joining from different part of the world, and it could be morning, it could be evening. So I'm wishing you all good luck, and I'm requesting everyone to stay safe. So before I introduce the panelist, so I would like to thank and highlight all the supporting organizations who made this event possible. High Skilled Immigration for America, Houston Tamil Studies Chair, VIT Alumni Association, Reaction Team, Team 8, Tamil Nadu Foundation Dallas, Bay Area Tamil Mandram, Bharati Kalai Mandram, Greater Atlanta Tamil Sangam, Greater Milwaukee Tamil Sangam, Houston Tamil Friends, Kansas City Tamil Sangam, Metroplex Tamil Sangam, Michigan Tamil Sangam. It's all the Tamil organization who support this session. And I thank each and every one of the organizations who is part of this and who want to join hands to make this even a great success. And it's time for me to introduce our panelists. Panelists, I sincerely thank for each and every one of you for volunteering for this session. I know you agreed to do this session. Not only this couple of hours they're going to spend with us, they spent multiple hours before this session volunteering their time for preparing this, for planning this, and each and every time we requested. So thank you so much for that. So now it's time for me to introduce our panelists. So I would like to start from Mr. Tamizhvanan Ratanaswamy. He is from New York. So can you please raise your hands and say hello, sir?
Okay, so
Mr. Tamizhvanan is joining us from New York. He did his MBA in Annamalai University, Chidambaram, and since then he joined State Bank of India in 1988, and he completed 32 years of service in State Bank. Now he is a Chief Operating Officer for a New York branch from 2016 to till date. So he's kind enough to be part of the panelist, and he's going to help us in answering certain questions regarding, Indian investment, banking, how to handle few banks sectors from India. So thank you so much for joining, Tamizhvanan, sir. Thank you so much. Next is Mr. Anand Palanisamy. He is a Chief Operating Officer for MyTaxFiler. Anand Palanisamy is from Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. He is from Frisco, Dallas, Texas. And he has 15 years of experience in IT and consulting, and he worked for multinational company. And he is now a Chief Operating Officer for MyTaxFiler. MyTaxFiler is well-known tax consulting and for franchisee. And they have 16 branches, and he agreed to be part of our panelists. Thank you, Anand. Thank you for joining us. And he's going to answer tax-related questions and also all the stimulus package given by our Tamil Nadu government. Sorry, our US government. And next panelist is Tupil Narasiman. He's from Houston. His bio is a little long, so please stay with me. So he's he's a chemical engineer. He did MS in chemical engineering and MBA in France, and he's also done in MS in taxation. And he's also a certified public accountant, CPA, and he worked in ExxonMobil for 36 years and specializing in international tax, income tax, accounting, and US tax controversy. And he has been working with IRS and even Justice Department. And he has been involved in many profit and non-profit organizations. And right now, he's on the board of Classical Arts Society of Houston. Also, he's the part of Houston Tamil Chair Studies, and he's a vice president of finance. And he's well known for accounting or any taxation advice. So thank you so much, Tupil sir, for joining us. Thank you so much. And the team, so this is our panelist. Myself, I'm ArunKumar. I'm the president of Metroplex Tamil Sangam, and I also own a business. I have operations in Tamil Nadu, Coimbatore, and also I have operations in India. So I will represent the thoughts from the business owner perspective and also from the nonprofit perspective. So thank you so much once again, panelists. So now I'm requesting panelists to present their idea about what is happening right now on the current COVID-19 scenario, how people are affecting and what they can be prepared for. So every panelist will have 2 to 3, 4 minutes to present their thoughts, and I'm requesting Tupil uncle to start. So Tupil uncle, I will start sharing your document. Give a minute, and then you can start presenting it. Yes, uncle, go ahead. Floor is yours.
Okay. Basically, first I want to thank Dallas MTS for giving me this opportunity to participate in this. Today, the areas that we'd be happy to cover, answer your questions are and basically to do with the recent acts passed by the Congress for COVID and any consequences of that act. So the first one they passed was the giving extension for filing your returns from April 15th to July 2025. So that's a very good provision for many of you. There won't be any penalty and interest due to that. So this is an automatic provision. Next, they passed something called FFCRA, Family Act, that provides medical leave and sick leave to employees unable to work or telework due to certain circumstances related to COVID-19. It's about an $8 billion bill. There are a lot of good provisions in there. Tax credit available to small businesses and even for self-employed individuals. The third one is the major one, all of you know about it, the CARES Act, 2.2 trillion, and 350 billion of that is for the payroll protection program that allows you to continue to get your money and all that. And there is also an emergency injury disaster loan called EIDL for small businesses, about $10 billion. There's a lot of things in this bill in this act, about unemployment benefits for many of them, including self-employed people. So any questions on that, I think the panel can answer, and I can join too. And there's also for people who are partly employed, in other words, part-time employment, reduced hours, reduced salary, they can also file for unemployment. That's also a very good feature. And then with respect to students and forgiving of loans of that type, there are a lot of provisions. So this will be an interesting session if you have any questions on all this. Once again, thanks for the opportunity. I look forward to your questions. Thank you, Arun.
Thank you, Uncle. Thank you for the brief. And so now I'm requesting Anand to share a few words from his perspective. Anand, 1 minute while I'm loading your presentation. Okay, I'm hearing a background noise for someone, so if we can mute, that would be great. So Anand, please go ahead. Floor is yours. Thank you.
All right. So yeah, thank you, Arun and Metroplex Tamil Sangam for giving me this opportunity to talk with you all. And so as Tupil uncle said, we are all in recession. No, the recession is here. So there is no more welcoming the recession in a few months and all. But now we are talking about how this COVID-19, it's impacting our individual and also our tax and wealth life, and also for the small business owners. So today the focus is more on this CARES Act, this especially the 2.2 trillion, how it's being divided into multiple segments or buckets. So we are going to talk about how this stimulus check work, and for individual, as an individual, I'm concerned that, what if I'm, losing my job, and where should I apply for this unemployment, or the recent stimulus check should I apply for, or automatically I'll get it in my mailbox or inbox. So these questions will be answered. So here, as you see in the screen, so the stimulus checks is coming from IRS, and you don't need to apply. It's coming directly from IRS to your bank account. If you opt out for the paper filing or anything, then it will come as a check. But otherwise, if you have done the e-filing, then it will be in your bank account. And the income, it's all there is actually a portion, and we are going to talk about that. I'm not going to I'm briefing it now. I'm not going to detail it now because there are a lot of section in between. And also, who are going to get it mainly? That is actually the question that I'm receiving nowadays. I'm a H1B, I'm a lone guy, I'm a student. So what if I'm, how much I'm getting it, and how much I'm going to get, and what are the things included and all. So just a simple answer, if you have an SSN, you will get this check. You don't need to worry about it all. So that is what it's saying, for your non-citizen, still if you're having a visa and if you're having a SSN, that's all you need. So automatically you will get your amount through the mail or direct deposit. And the IRS is going to determine that amount, the less than 75,000 means, as a single, then you are going to get a certain portion, $1,200. As a family, you will get $2,400. And there is also the cap, if you're above that threshold, 75,000, and collectively, as a family, joint filing, if it's above $150,000 annual gross income per year, then every $100 the government is going to deduct $5. So if you are, for example, if you're a single and earning 99K and above, you will not get anything because there is a threshold. But if you are getting for example 80K, then above 75K, the $5,000, every $5,000, sorry, every $100 you lose $5, which means you're going to lose certain amount, and then you will receive the rest of the portion from the 1,200. So this is how the IRS is calculating, and government is going to determine. In this slide it says 2018 W2, but also the latest news is if you have filed your 2019 tax returns, then they are going to take your 2019 tax returns, and based on that gross income, annual gross income, they are going to determine your income, and they're going to cut the check. But the folks who are, I would say that there is a recommendation here, if your 2018 W2 is higher than 2019, then I would recommend that you have to file your 2019 as tax return as quick as possible to get this benefit quickly. So yeah, that's what we are going to talk about. And if you have any questions on this, you can ask us in your chat box. And we are also going to talk about CATS Act, which is also giving a benefit for small business owners. The small business owners are the blood vessels of this country. So they are suffering now, and due to this pandemic situation, people are not going out, and the restaurant owners or saloons, cave, they are all suffering. So to protect this, President Trump, they had announced last couple of weeks back, and it's been signed on March 27th, the 2.2 trillion CARES Act loan, which is going into different buckets. And there are two loans or grant which is very important now. One is economic injury disaster loan, which is also called EADL, and the government had allocated 349 billion for that. But since everyone is trying to get the portion now, that it may exhaust very soon. So please apply that loan as quick as possible if you are a small business owner, if you are an independent contractor or self-employed. And also there is another one. It's called Paycheck Protection Program. So that is covering your paycheck for next 8 weeks. So this is very important. That is also provided by SBA, funded through the banks in the sense any lender, SBA approved lender. So these two big loan, and there is also grant through the DADL, $10,000 grant, every small business owner, they will get it quickly within 3 days after they apply. And that is actually the rush now, because that the portion they allocated for that $10,000 grant is only 2 billion. So the 2 billion is nothing, like it's a peanut. So everyone will get it in a probably like, it will be exhausted very soon, probably in 1 or 2 days. So that is a rush now. So that's why it's a time sensitive, and that's why we are going to talk and we are going to focus more on these two loans: economic injury disaster loan and paycheck protection program loan for small business owners. And of course, for individuals, we're going to talk about various situations, how they are going to affect this COVID-19, how it's impacting their tax, wealth, and income level. So yeah, so this is what we're going to talk, and then I'll let Arun to give it to Tamizhvanan sir.
Thank you, Anand. Tamizhvanan sir, I'm going to switch to the presentation. Your presentation. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Tamizhvanan sir, floor is yours.
Yeah. அன்பு தமிழ் நெஞ்சங்களுக்கு வணக்கம். First of all, I thank that Metroplex Tamil Sangam giving this opportunity for come before you to share my personal views on account of this unsettling turbulent situation on account of the COVID-19.
Yes, sir. I'm showing the offshore investment slide, sir. Tamizhvanan sir, you are muted. Can you unmute yourself?
Oh, sorry.
Yes. Yeah. No worries.
I think that I'll start from the beginning. அன்பு தமிழ் நெஞ்சங்களுக்கு எனது வணக்கம். First of all, I thank that Metroplex Tamil Sangam for giving this opportunity to come before you to share my personal views on account of this unsettling, turbulent situation on account of this COVID-19, and everyone is looking for that this the world for that the economic is low down. On account of that all the countries are coming out that for pumping that money to the restore that their economy. See, now we are going to discuss that this something about that offshore investment, as well as that the loans availed in it from India as well as that US. What is happening for that our personal front? I say about something about that offshore investment. It is basically means that there's many other things that is applicable for the wealthiest people, and for us that normal common man, like the working class people are, as well as the business class people here, those some advantages are there, includes the tax benefits, asset protection, the privacy, and broad range of investment can get that from other countries. Also the downside also there, that for high cost, increase regulatory scrutiny of accounts, everything. And offshore investment is keeping money is in a jurisdiction other than that the country you are reside. Commonly accepted means of reducing taxes. For that purpose only that we are looking for that. The challenge in that current scenario is that this COVID-19 pandemic is not like any crisis we have experienced before. In the past that we have experienced some crisis in the 2008 also, due to that the subprime crisis, you know very well, in that USA. That is different. All financial crises have the human cost. What makes this unique is that this human crisis now it is happening. that human crisis that triggered as a significant economic and financial shock, rather than that other way around it was happened in the 2008. And in this situation, how we have to determine our investment is investment and all we have to take care that we have to going to see that one. And what I am suggesting that one, that is protecting that your asset, it's absolute our priority. It's not major. I can say that it is not a. It's a kind of luck. It's kind of the capital preservation is a matter of design. It's everyone's role is that you have to precautionary measures you have to take for that at the time of this investment. If anything is there, to choose that companies that which is highly leveraged, or what I say that highly rated companies, so that there is no prediction at all. This how it will be turned out to do that this, next 2 to 3 months. Anyway, that this you may know that this, our Sensex and all fall down for the 12 to 13,000 points, and Nifty also down for close to that 7,000. So it gives it a lot of caution to us that to choose that funds. And second one is that loans. So many people we availed that loans in India as well as here also. So what will happen for this one? In this current situation, I'm not able to pay that the EMI. If I'm not paying that one, what will happen that one? And both the governments are, every government is coming out with some of that regulations. See, for India, that they have come out for EMI deferment. So 3 months deferment they are giving, for which that every bank is adopted that separate modalities. And for example, State Bank of India is sending that SMS to those customers to avail that facility. How that this EMI is deducting, or if you want to that this deferment facility, you have to apply for that. So the risk for that one is that if you are availing this one deferment, it's not that interest not applied to your case. It is that extending that 3 months EMI to that your total loan period. That means that you have to pay that additional interest to that the 3 months, but time being that these 3 months you need not pay that one. So this is that in USA that they have given that 180 days period. So here also that the same thing only, that only this is a deferment. It applicable for that all the credit card, all the loans available, everything is there. And my suggestion is that if essentially you need that this facility, you can avail it. Otherwise, you can service your EMI if you are able to do that. This is my suggestion. So this related questions, anything is there, we will discuss in the session.
Thank you, sir. Really appreciate it. And so let me thank you so much, panelists. And I think that is a good introduction. So let me share my thoughts from the business owner's perspective about what is as a business owner, what are all the challenges we are facing. We are facing a lot of challenges. Number one, very first one is the cash flow. Now all the cash flow coming to our account is going to slowly go down, or sometimes it may freeze as well. So as a business owners, now what we are going to do is like our brain will think like, okay, how we can sustain this business, what we have to keep the minimum, and rest, we have to let it go. So based on the company's financial situation, if you have a 10 months of working capital, if you have an instance that this could be recouped in 6 months, then I will take a chance and I will, keep. If it is a publicly traded company, their priority is, stock, the shareholders. So they are responsible for that. So they are going to, play within their, employee or all other expenses and to keep the stock, investors pleased. So this is really the strategies differ from the private or a public sector, small or a bigger. I have, Fortune 500 as a client, small business as a client. The Fortune 500 companies have not requested anything yet, but small companies have requested for a budget cut already. So this is what is going to happen. So if you are working in a critical project, I think probability of they retaining you is very, very high. So if you are working in a nice to have project, probability of letting you go is very high. So if you can ask Arun what I can do, the best one is try to find out, switch over the knowledge, switch over the job where it is a mandatory job, they cannot let it go. So I'm sure that our community is smart people are there. They can able to proactively plan it. But one thing I can say is like including United States, I think more than 100 years, nobody have seen this kind of challenge. People are, when we discussed, he was very clearly explaining what is the difference between the recession came in 2008 and right now is 2008 job were there, people are working, but only financial challenges were there. But the right now is both the wheels is going to stop or pretty much stop. Job, many people have lost a job. 10 million people have filed unemployment, probably more as of today. And then the cash flow is also going to be stopped. So no one can predict and say this is what will happen in next 10 years or so. No one can predict. I can tell you that. So one thing is like, we have to, as an employee or as a business owner, two things we can use, like, see what kind of grant government is giving, both for employees, both for business owners, try to get it and try to stay, live, keep the company going. And if you're an employee, try to keep your job, try to, grow your skill set so that company feels your presence is very, very important. So this is from my perspective. And so team, I wanted to take this time and I wanted to, thank Metropolis Tamil Sangam for providing this great platform. And also I want to, share that Metropolis Tamil Sangam is having a radio. It is voluntarily driven, volunteer run radio. So we have more than 25 RJs working around the clock. So if you want a companion while driving to your office when everything goes, or when you're at home, you need a companion, I think MTS Radio is one of the good option you may consider. And you can download our app or you can visit dfwmts.org to listen online. So thank you so much. Now, let us go into the question and answer session. So we have received a lot of questions. We have released a form, and then we have that form being filled by many people. And even now, I see that a lot of people are asking questions on the chat. So we have volunteers who is going to organize the question and share it with us, and every panelist will answer the question. So now we are going to take the first questions as we received, and I will request panelists to answer that. So the very first question we received is, so Tupil uncle, this is for you. I think I already touched this point, but what is the difference between, from your perspective, 2008 and 2020 recession?
It's a very good question, Arun. You did cover it, and let me add my points to it. There is a lot of differences, but the only commonality that I've seen so far is the plunging stock market, possible recession, unemployment, federal interest rate cut, and government stimulus. That's the only thing I can see common. Everything else is totally different. For one thing, in 2008, the financial crisis and recession resulted from years of deeply rooted weak spots in the economy. That is not the case now. We are seeing this is caused by something external to the economy that is affecting the economy. In 2008, a banking crisis and a loss of housing wealth was the root of the problem. And people lost trust in their banks. There was a run for the money at that time. And the economy people did not want to spend the money. So the government had to infuse money into the economy to stimulate it. So that's not the case here now. People have trust in the economy. People are not taking money out of the bank. It's just things beyond our control. It's all caused by one single thing, virus, nothing else. And again, previous one was housing market, some oil. Here, the industries that are affected are greatly oil industry for nothing to do with the virus, but just on its own. So happen to combine with it. The oil prices are very low. It all is unsustainable level. And I'm sure, as markets have said, there will be some bankruptcies in that area. Small producers will go out of business. They cannot sustain this. There's no cash flow, as you pointed out, Arun. Similarly, airline industry, transportation industry, and entertainment industry will suffer a lot. How they're going to come back is anybody's guess at this point. And in 2008, the subsidy was to the tune of about 1.5 trillion. And the Congress was not in full agreement with the subsidy at the time. There was a lot of arguments. The Republican did not support it very much, everything else. But now it's unanimous. We need the support because it's not the fault of the industries, not the fault of workers, not something external to us. So 2 trillion has been given, and another 2 billion and trillion in loans and commercial paper will be coming. Some people are estimating as much as 6 trillion support will be coming directly or indirectly from the government. So, in summary, this is an unknown issue for us, and is anybody's guess how we are going to rebound from this. But we cannot even address that before we solve the virus problem. So that has to be solved first, and the government will address even more. I think they're talking about another trillion or two for infrastructures and other things. And I think all this have to happen to really stimulate. It's a very short answer. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you, Uncle. Thank you. And I know, team, I know everyone is looking for answer, which unfortunately, no one knows. Including the President of the United States is going to say the same answer. So thank you, Uncle. Thank you so much for the brief. And now let's go to the next question. Next question is a detailed question. I'm going to read the question. I bought a home in January and closing it is in July. I've paid a deposit of $40,000. If I lose job, is there a way to get the money back? Or, of course, the decision comes when price will go down further. Is there an option to cancel the deal now? So, Anand, can you please answer the question?
So when there is kind of recession and mortgage industry, mortgage payments are getting affected, they can do two things. One, they can send a request to the lender, and even if it's a new house, they can send a request to the construction company and ask them to waiver. But I highly doubt they cannot do. But there is a request that can go. But as far as my understanding and reading, it's not possible that the companies can withdraw that or repay that earnest money that they already been paid. So here, they can apply for request, and then they can wait for it to get it back, because a lot of industries, including that construction companies, they are waiting for the stimulus package, and they don't know how to deal with their customers, even if they signed up earlier or they are going to sign up. So I'm talking to mortgage lenders and the realtors. They are panicked now. It's very early that to go with any suspension of those earnest money things. So nothing wrong. He can send a request, but right now there is no concrete answer.
Thank you, Anand. And I think the next question is also for you, most likely, and this is related to the tax. So I am requesting you to answer. So the question is, Team, I am just for viewers, I'm trying to add the question in the bottom so you all can refer it. So I'm trying to be as dynamic as possible. So the question is, what are the impact tax implications due to stimulus check received by a family on the next year US tax filing? Anand, I think this is for you.
Yeah, so the next tax filing, this one is it's a grant. For individuals and family, they are getting the stimulus package, as we talked about, $1,200 for single, and $2,400 for a family, and $500 for children. So this is a grant that the government had dealt in 2008, same way, they are going to send a check or do the direct deposit. So this is not taxable. So in the next year, it's going to be excluded from the tax, as it says, it's a grant. They don't need to pay. Probably
Okay.
Tupil will want to add something.
Yeah, I think totally agree with Anand. However, the unemployment benefits you get will be taxed.
That's right. Yeah.
Thank you, Anand. Thank you so much. Now we are moving to the next question. Next question is similar to the previous one. With the recession, imminent with this pandemic, would you like to understand? Would like to understand how U.S. government or USCIC and corporate managed past to recession in 2008 and 2000. And this is a repeated question, and I have two more questions related to this. So, but Tupil or Anand or even other panelists can able to answer this.
Okay, I'll just take a shot at a few minutes, and then Anand can follow it. In 2008, the program is called Troubled Asset TARP. I forget the expansion for that. And government paid, gave a lot of money to them, but they took interest in it. They did have either as an equity or as a loan repayment. And I hear they got most of it out and it benefited it. Now they are also looking at a similar program for the other billion also for the airline industry and other companies. So I don't know how that is going to work in this case, because they may not even start anything for another 2-3 months. So most companies might be a little hesitant on that kind of a terms for borrowing. So it's an open issue. We have to see what happens there.
Okay, thank you, Tupil uncle. So the next question is, what is the process if we have to take a loan from 401k, maybe up to 100k, which can be repaid in 3 years? Anand or Tupil uncle, you can answer it.
Again, whatever I know, I'll say, yeah, you contact your 401k administrators and ask for the loan. The best part of this, make sure that you have cash in the loan, because otherwise they liquidate your stock, which is at a very low price. You get a double whammy here. That's one thing. The nice provision is there is no penalty. And so if you pay back in 3 years, you're back in the game. Everything comes back to normal. Anand, go ahead.
Yeah, so that is right. So there is no penalty up to 100k, and earlier it was actually a 50k, but now they increased to 100k. And up to 100k, there is no penalty, but you need to pay taxes, for that money.
Yeah, that's only if you don't repay in 3 years.
In the 3
Otherwise,
years.
no. Otherwise,
Yes,
no tax.
yes, correct.
Okay, so team, whoever asked the question or whoever is listening, whatever the amount you take, please repay on time to avoid a lot of tricky charges. Thank you, panelists, for the answer. So the next one is, again, it's a similar to the previous one, but I'm going to read it. So I see a large number of corporations giving a pirate cut, and I'm assuming my company as well will do. So with that situation, I cannot afford to pay my mortgage in next 1 or 2 months. Is there any mortgage relaxation made available in Texas already? If not, when I can expect from government, giving the history of financial crisis managed by US government? Is it Anand? Or since it is a bank, is it Tamizhvanan uncle can do that? Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah. On March 27, this CARES Act, it has been mentioned in that this mortgage loan and all, some relaxation it says that the CARES Act provides a forbearance option. So in which it has been mentioned that this up to 180 days relaxation deferment they can give that one for in USA. In India, it is given that this 3 months, 3 EMI can be deferred. So as earlier, as I told that you have to apply for that and take that option for availing this deferment. As I told you earlier, if you are availing that facility, it doesn't mean that interest not applied during that period. Interest will accrue and you have to pay after 3 months. And in India, that what they have mentioned that your moratorium period has been extended for 3 months. So you have to, your total EMI installment period will be extended to that extent. So my thing is that if anybody is capacity to pay, don't avail this facility. If you certainly you need that this facility to make this one don't default, then avail that facility. Even availing this facility, that your credit score will not affect. This was very clearly mentioned in that even RBI circular also in India. And here also it will not affect that your credit score at all.
Okay, that is good to know. Sir, one question is, defamation. When you say defamation means, it doesn't mean that I can stop paying that loan, or it is that 3 EMI for this month or next 2 months is waived, correct? All I'm getting is I can stop paying it, but I have to pay that with additional interest. Am I right? My understanding is right.
The thing is that some process has been implemented for the recovery of that EMI. For example, is ACH payment, or that this standing instruction from your account, and whatever it may be. So in case that your account is not having sufficient fund, it may get dishonored, that the payment cannot be made in that. So in that case, that you have to avail this facility. The back end that this banks will make some amendment in that your system. The EMI is not due for this account. Like that, they will put that. If they are putting that EMI is not due, that means that they are deferring that this payment for this next 3 months or next 2 months, whatever that you are opting for. So after that, that EMI will start. So during that period, that interest will accrue for that amount. The thing is that you need not pay that amount for the particular month that you are in hardship.
Okay, so if I can translate for the layman like me, I have to pay that, including interest and including EMI. If I don't pay it, only advantage is like it will not reflect in my credit score, or there will not be any penalty for next 3 months. But other than that, interest will be there. I have to pay. Irrespective of it, I have to pay today or tomorrow, I have to pay.
Absolutely.
Okay, awesome. So the next question is also related to that, but the next question is, any relaxation by Indian government exist or can be, expecting for loan payment in India for NRI? So since the Indian government has already been shared, RBI have given to all the RBI have given details to all the bank, and I know that SBI released a statement now. Can you brief for NRI? If I own a home in India and if I'm paying the monthly payment, so can you go a little bit, detail about that, sir?
It is not mentioned about that NRI separately. Based on that RBI circular says that it is modality is not mentioned about that one. RBI simply say that this is 3 months extension. So the local banks, bank management, they have to decide that how they have to implement that one. As far as SBI is concerned, they have come out with that circular to defer that 3 EMI for installment for all term loan accounts. In that, what they have mentioned that the EMI installment falling due between March 1st to May 31st, these only will be applicable. The repayment duration of these loans will get extended for that above set period for deferment. This is what they have told. and the total repayment period will extend at how many months you are opting for that. So for that, what State Bank is instructed to that their branches and all. All term loan customers will be sent that by SMS, whether you want to avail this facility or not. So each and every borrowers, they have to approach for that bank. They gave that this application and all in the website, and the application through application they have to apply for that to avail this option. Otherwise, the existing provision will continue. That means every month EMI you have to pay.
Okay, got it, sir. Got it. Thank you. Thank you so much for the answer. So the next question is, Anand, this question is for you. Let me read it out. I have LLC and I am the sole owner of LLC who reports tax on Schedule C. I do not have any employees, but I have an individual independent contractors working for me. How do I take the benefit of PPP and what are the criteria?
Okay, so since you have an LLC and you are a sole owner of that LLC, then so you have to take the 100K cap. So which means, let me explain to you. So this is if you are a sole member in that LLC and say, for example, taking 120K out of it, like, Schedule C, when you say that, it's a K1. So you are taking that, and 120K, there is a cap in the Paycheck Protection Program loan. So you are qualified, you are eligible for applying the Paycheck Protection Program loan. So when you are applying the Paycheck Protection Program, basically you are saying that, like, hey, I need to apply for this loan to protect my pay for next paycheck for next 8 weeks. So the government is giving the cap of 100K at the max you can claim. So which means if you are earning more than 100K, up to 100K, you can go and claim it. You can apply for that. It's the same applicable for independent contractors as well. And independent contractors, say, for example, if you are having, because you said, like, I do not have any employees, but I have independent contractors, which means, like, no employees in your W-2, but independent contractors. Earlier, there was a confusion whether the independent contractor has to be included in the company's filing or not. But later, like, just 2 days back, like, Treasury, they announced that independent contractors has to be applied, as they can apply on their own. So which means there is no double dipping allowed. So the long story short, yes, the LLC owner can apply for the Paycheck Protection Program, but up to 100K. And independent contractor, if you have an independent contractor, you cannot include them in that, in the Paycheck Protection Program. They have to apply on their own. And how to apply and how to take this benefit and all, there is a list of list of documents that you need to submit. For example, if your company was in the operation for last 2019 entire year, then the period that to calculate the paycheck, the period is starting from March 2020 to go back to last April 1st, 2019. Or that is one option. Or option B, you have to take entire 2019 paycheck divided by 12, and that is going to be your average monthly paycheck cost. So average paycheck cost, for example, if it's 120K divided by 12, that is actually 10K. 10K is your average paycheck cost per month. Then you can ask 2.5 times or 250% of that average monthly payroll cost you can apply. So which means 25K you can apply in under the Paycheck Protection Program, and government will decide based on the documents, additional documents, that the supporting document that you are providing. So this 25K is good enough to run your payroll for next 8 weeks. So after 8 weeks, you have to go back to the government saying that, hey, I disbursed all this money, the 25K, towards my payroll and towards my mortgage interest, not for principal. There is a caveat here, only for interest. And also I spend this money for my rent and utilities. Then after you submit all the documents, then government will give you that, they're saying that, yes, we are going to forgive this loan. the 25K that we had disbursed to you, and you said like you utilize that money effectively and genuine. So all the 25K we are going to pay. So you have to keep your records. You have to keep all your receipts, paycheck receipts, and everything, all the rent receipt, utilities, and everything. You need to keep it ready, and you need to maintain it for next 8 weeks. Once you get this loan, and after 8 weeks, you're going to apply for the loan forgiveness, and after that, it's going to be a free money, which means 25K will be forgiven. So yes, LLC owner can apply, and then independent contractor cannot included in this, and you can go for average paycheck cost into 2.5 times. That is your qualified loan amount, and the loan forgiveness. Yes, you are eligible, and after 8 weeks, you need to apply for the loan eligible, and you can get it. The loan forgiveness program you're eligible. So which means bottom line is this is protecting the small business and their basic cost of payroll, rent, utilities, and mortgage interest.
So Tupil uncle wanted to add points on this, but before they have also asked one more question. Do you have to be a citizen or a green card holder to apply for PPP?
I just add a couple of comments on that. It's a full-time and part-time employees. So part-time employees can also be included in that list. That's one thing. And second thing, you can also add the health insurance cost to your payroll. Payroll cost is defined as your payroll plus health insurance and retirement benefits, anything you gave it to your employees. The third interesting question came to me from a couple of people is, hey, what if I have 5 businesses? I have 5 LLCs or 1 self-employed, all of that. You're eligible for only one benefit, $100,000 limit. So you can apply through one of the organization, or you can apply separately, but you can only apply it once. Okay. And that's what I wanted to add. And what was your question, Arun? Can you repeat that?
No, is there any difference if it's a green card holder or citizen, both can apply for PPP, or only citizen can apply for PPP? Is that
No, both can apply. It's not only that. My reading is that it defines resident, a resident for U.S. tax purposes. That's what the Act says. So even if you're in the process of it, as long as you've stayed here for more than 183 days and filed as a resident return in your 1040 or any other thing that you're doing, you're eligible.
Got it.
But
thank you.
in the form, there is a question in the form. Either you are U.S. citizen or green card holder.
Right.
Yeah, only 2 choices. It's there. So that is why a lot of people got confused about this. How to, because a lot of folks are having a H-1B visa, still they're having LLC, and they are asking question whether I'm eligible or not. So it is still, it's a gray area, I would say, because in the application form it's not clear. It doesn't say that other options are visa and all those stuff. It says it's asking question, you're US citizen or green card holder.
You're right. In the application it says, but in the Act it says resident is the term that's used.
Okay, thank you. And I know the same person asked the third question, and I know the answer already. You have answered it, but just I want to read it. What portion of people given to sole proprietors and independent contractors would be forgivable, and what document they have to provide? I think you answered it, but Anand, you want to add any questions or additional notes to that?
Yeah, the documents I already mentioned. What are the documents you need to submit for the loan forgivable option? But the portion of a PPP, so 70, the amount that you're getting from PPP, at least 75% you have to spend towards a payroll. So that's a rule here. Say, for example, if you are getting 100K from the Paycheck Protection Program, at least 75K you should utilize that amount towards your payroll cost. The remaining 25% you can spend it for rent, utilities, mortgage interest, and all. So that's a criteria. So after 8 weeks, when you go back and say, hey, 100K, I utilize it only 50K, and remaining 50K, I spend it for rent, utilities, and mortgage, means still that it's it's allowable. But at the same time, like if we say that 100K, I spend 90K, I spend 50K in towards like a mortgage interest and other costs, but only 50K I spent on the paycheck, means like remaining portion would be considered as a loan. So it's not going to be forgiven, but it's a loan. So you have to repay that loan. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Anand. And since I have one more question related to that, if you have a company in India, and you cannot use this for the company you have it in India, right? That just if you can add some notes on that, that would be great.
So if you have a company in India, which means, say for example, the company is in India and also as well as in US, is that correct? Or right? So a lot of folks like we have
US company owned by.
Yeah, so US company, even our company, like we have a company in US and also we have a offshore component. So when we are going for a paycheck protection program, we have to include only US employees. We cannot include the 500 employees, because this paycheck protection program is the company who has less than 500 employees. So the less than 500 employees is one criteria. Second criteria, out of the 500 employees, only the US employees has to be counted, not Indian employees or offshore employees. So yes, if you have a company in India, so which means the employees in India, you cannot count towards this paycheck.
Got it. Thank you. So the next question related to home, I think we have already covered it, but I don't want to, oversee anything. So I purchased a home. Is there a ground to postpone my closing date using this situation?
Yeah, definitely. Because in this situation, it's very, very difficult to honor your commitment also. So definitely that you can postpone, because of that this economy is not supporting well. That is why that this government also pumping the money to the what is called that to regain that this economy. For example, that in March month alone, federal government is reduced the rate of interest by 1.5%. Earlier it was that the floor rate was that 1.5 to 1.75, and in the month of March, first week, that 3rd March, if I'm correct, 0.5% they have reduced, and on 20th, I think it's a Sunday, or I forgot that date exactly. Sunday evening they have reduced that 1%. This is in the history of USA. Even in the crisis, in 2008 crisis also, they have not reduced this much amount in one single shot. It was viewed very seriously by the economist about that this reduction. This overnight rate decides that this home loan interest rate, everything. So it's better to postpone the purchasing idea to some point of time.
Got it. Tupil sir, you have any points to add to this?
No, nothing. Thank you. We covered it.
Okay. Thank you. And so the next question is similar to this, but I think Tamizhvanan sir, you may have to answer this. So let me read out. Deferment of EMI loan is a default by any Indian bank, or should they need to apply for this to claim it? That is the first part of question, sir. The second part is I hear bank directly go with deferment of EMI, which involved a huge interest rate after 3 months and added to the total amount. So I do not want to stop EMI for 3 months. I think we answered the question, but the first part is unanswered. Should they want to apply for this, or by default is applied for all the bank in India?
It is not a default by apply for every person. As I told you earlier, that even it is mentioned in that RBI FAQ site also, it is mentioned very clearly. You have to apply for that. Otherwise, that this is not a waiver. This is not a waiver. This is a deferment of EMI only. Does that moratorium cover both principal and interest? No. Yes, it does, but it will accrue. And if you are not apply, they will not give you. As I told you earlier, State Bank of India specifically given that instruction by way of SMS to all the term loan customers. It's not this EMI deferment is not covered for that revolving credit. For example, that overdraft limit that will not cover, only applicable for term loans. That stipulated by that equated monthly installments. That only it covers, and you have to apply for that. Based on the application only, they will set up that deferment in their account setup.
Thank you, sir. So what you're saying is, really, if you don't have to do it, you should not do it, and it is not by default. If you are interested in applying for that, then you have to apply, irrespective of the bank.
Yeah, true. As I earlier told you that if you have that capacity, don't opt for that. If you are not having that capacity to repay that amount, better you have to continue that UMI as usual.
Got it. Thank you, sir. So Anand, probably this is for you. UX tax filing for 2019, did they extended the date? I know they have loud and clear, but still people have asked questions. Can you answer that, please?
Yeah, sorry. It is extended to July 15th. So I'm not sure that the questionnaires status, individual or business, but yes, it is extended to July 15th.
Yes. So since you touched the business, is it extended for business as well?
Yeah, business is also extended, yes, but automatically, all the business will go up to October. So that is default. But for individuals, instead of April 15th, they extended to July 15th now. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. And the next question is very interesting. This is not related to this session, but they asked, can someone on H4 EAD file for an unemployment benefits? And I can add my answer to that. Answer is no. If you are in H4, you cannot do that. But panelists, if you can, add your thoughts, feel free to do so. I may be wrong too, so go ahead.
Well, there is in the CARES Act, there's a special unemployment provision for those people that are not covered by state unemployment rules. Okay, for example, self-employed and people of that category. And I don't know whether it covers or not. I think they've got to be waiting for more guidance on that. If the person is resident of the United States, there may be some exception. We just have to wait and see.
Got it. So they have to wait right now. So there is no specific.
Yeah, the guidance is coming out. There is a provision for people who are not regularly eligible for special provision. Yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you, Uncle. Thank you, sir. So the next question is, do the children need to have SSN to get the stimulation package amount of $500? Anand, maybe you can answer it.
Yes, they will get it. Yeah.
Okay.
They do need that. They also, for adults, they refer to what is called work SSN, not a plain SSN. Many people have them for bank accounts. They are not eligible to get it. Only the work eligible SSN will be eligible to get it.
Yeah.
And the children, obviously. Yeah.
Children, obviously. Yes. So the bottom line is an SSN is required to get that stimulus package.
Okay. Thank you. The next question is, Tupil sir, it is for you. From your perspective, please discuss fundamentals of economy before the crisis and likely scenario after containment of COVID-19 and the projected path for a rebound.
Before the crisis, the economy was great. I was personally very happy with it. The stock market did very well. The employment was very good, everything else. Now we are taking a nosedive. As you mentioned, Arun, it's going to be a difficult situation to guess what it is going to be. But, one thing, I have some experience with oil and gas industry. That is going to be very hard. The recovery is going to be long. until the oil price bounces. And it's also outside of the US control very much. As you all know, the Russians and the Saudi Arabians are the ones that are going to be controlling to a large extent. So he really cannot say, and many of the companies cannot sustain at this rate of $20 a barrel. Okay, now airline is going to take a really, really long time to recover because as it is, they're spending a lots of money, no income, and when things start, people are not going to spend money flying everything. They got to take care of their personal needs and other stuff. So there are certain industries, entertainment, airline, restaurant, and all that. That'll take a much longer to do. Things that people can work from home and all that will have a better impact on, recover faster. IT business to some extent would come out, and they are also saying the whole lifestyle could change after this 3-4 months. People are realizing that you can do a lot of things from home, and that might, for some industries, become the norm.
I agree with you. I completely agree with you. Including a lot of hotels is going to face a lot of challenges as well. As you said, if business owners think, oh, if we can do this from home, why you are coming to office? You can stay at home and work. So there is a lot of changes is going to happen, and I agree with you, Tupil sir. Thank you so much. And this is, I think we have answered this, Anand. If husband and wife has SSN and SSN and kids have only ITIN, are we qualified for availing stimulus payout?
Yeah, so if a husband and wife has SSN, yes, they are eligible, but the kids are not eligible to get this stimulus plan package.
Are not eligible for this. Yeah. Okay. So the next question, it's a long question, so all the full questions may not be visible in the screen, but I will read out to you. I have paid earnest deposit for the construction of a new house. Is it good to continue with the deal, or do you see any risk in moving forward? Any suggestions, please? Should I wait until then or take a call now itself? To add a construction has not started yet or expecting close this September. So he paid in advance and they have not started the construction. He's asking, should I want to, close, bail out, or pull back, or wait for later months? Any panelists can jump in and answer, please.
Yeah, I'll let Tamizhvanan to take. Yeah.
Yes,
sir. First of all, that we have to see that this construction agreement between that the builder or agency between the borrower. So whether that agreement is providing any facility, they can get out of that, cancel that agreement or whatever it may be. And in positive situations that the builder may have that this option, by taking some penalty, they will agree for that cancellation and all. But situation like this COVID-19 pandemic situation, nobody will agree for this one, that is the cancellation and all. If at all that cancellation is happening, the huge cost you have to bear. They will put that lot of penalty. This is what I feel.
I agree with you, because when we sign a contract for builders, normally we don't go through all the terms and conditions. We sign the document, and yes, I'm sure that document is in favor of builders.
Just one comment on that. The laws vary from state to state, so it's a contract law. And second thing, based on my own personal experience, is what happened. If you're applying for a loan with a bank, and a loan is part of the contract, would say only the loan is approved, you can go, otherwise you can get out of the contract. So that's also one provision that they deposit money applied for the loan, and they don't have a job and things like that. The bank may not approve the loan. They have a reason not to. Circumstances change also. So that can definitely get you out of the commitment, because at least in Texas, it is.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so maybe they will lose that earnest money, what they have paid, but no, they always can walk out, even the last day when of that house closing time, they can walk out, but everybody knows that. But in case, like, if he, not only for this question, but if anybody wants to understand, say, for example, I don't have a job, or I lost a job because of COVID-19, and I'm going to apply for unemployment, I cannot pay this mortgage. So that kind of situation, they can always go for, they can apply for the forbearance, and that will, that's a request, so they can, similar how that Indian government is giving, like, 2 months or 3 months. I think in India it's a 90 days, but in US, if I'm not wrong, so it's a 60 days. You can push it loan, the mortgage amount, you can push it further. But interest, it's accumulating. You need to take care of that interest. Only the principal portion of that amount, you can push it forward. And as long as you are paying that interest, you are good. But if you're not paying that interest will accumulate towards into your principal balance. So after 60 days, you have to repay that along with principal and interest. But it is possible to apply for that, forbearance. Yes.
Thank you, Anand. And thank you. So go ahead, sir. Sorry, go ahead.
One suggestion that this, as per that CARES Act forbearance, that allows the borrowers to defer their mortgage payment for up to 180 days in US.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Yeah.
It's not 60 days mentioned.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Tupil, sir, you want to add anything, or you are good?
No, I'm good.
Okay, thank you. So the next question is, this one is, 100K cash loan from 401K. What will be the impact on stock market? I don't know why he's comparing 401K with stock market. That is money taken from one hand and given to the left hand for the same person. Is there any catch? So that is the question. Any panelist can answer that. I don't know to whom to direct this question.
It's very unclear to me what this question is about. We may need a little bit more explanation as to what he's really asking for. I mean, 100K by itself is a drop in the stock market, so it should have no effect on anything. But I don't know what he or she is asking in this question.
No, I think what he meant is, right now, that the money that he is keeping in this 401k, if he is, the proportion, the proportion or the percentage that he elected in that 401k towards, say, for example, somebody elected 60% of the 401k money can deposit into the stocks. Maybe, like, he's thinking that, is it a good idea to take that money out and put it in the stock market? Is it same thing, like, whether, because anyway the money is going towards the stock, either it's in 401k or, like, he's handling it on own. So that's why he's saying that, left hand and right hand, I think. But yeah, so I mean, it's a hard question, or very there is no single line answer for this. It's at this situation, especially because 30% crash can happen in stock market. So I think yeah, it's very hard to answer.
Go ahead, Tamil.
I knew that this 401k is for that our back in India, that is provident fund contribution kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a safest saving here. And we are withdrawing from that this savings and investing in the stock market. It's not a right decision. And one more thing also we can do, that when that now that the stock markets are low, in this situation, he may think that it is wise to invest in that stock market to earn more money, because that more risk is more return kind of thing. He may think that.
Got it. Okay, so the next question is, I don't know how certain he is about this question. Can I take advantage of forbearance while my refinance are in progress? Forbearance while my refinance are in progress.
I mean, I personally don't see any problem, because you can do multitude of tries on different ways and finally choose the one that's most appropriate for you. Yeah. Because by applying for refinancing, you're not taking it for sure. You have a last minute to turn it down.
Yeah, so I mean, while he's saying refinance are in progress, so he don't know whether it's going to be approved or not. So under the circumstance, I think yes, he can go and take an advantage of the forbearance.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. So this is from one of our sponsors, Mr. Radhakrishnan from New Jersey. So he's asking, Arun, can you check with the panel to confirm if we pay more than 100K salary, then only 8,333 is taken into account for that employee or total payroll for 2019?
Yeah, it's a total payroll for the 2019. So it's
okay. So irrespective, even if you pay 200K, that will be considered.
Correct. So that's why I said, like, in the company has 5 employees in a W2, and the 5 employees, if they are paying each employee 10K per month, for example, so 50K is actually per month. So that is why, like, we have to see that last to 2019, how much the payroll cost divided by number of employees into, divided by 12 months, so per month. So basically per month, average payroll cost. So we are not going by, like, per person and all, but average payroll cost.
Yeah, one thing, that there is a rule, very clear rule there, that you cannot consider people paying more than $100,000. You have to limit to $100,000.
Yeah, correct.
So maximum per person, as the gentleman is right, is 100,000 divided by 12 for that employee. The rest of it cannot go in the calculation for 2.5. The rule is extremely clear on that.
Yeah, it's very clear, straight. Sorry, yeah, I need to add that. So it's a 100K cap. So if I think we covered in the previous question also.
Right, we did.
So the 100K cap per person, which means if somebody is taking 120K, you cannot include the 20K. It has to go by 100K. Yes.
Okay. So Ganesh sir, here is your answer. It is 8,333 a month is what you can use for this calculation. Okay, so let us take a break. And I know we are continuously asking questions, and anyone, if you based on what is happening right now, any panelist you want to share your thoughts, to throw some positivity, what is happening right now, from my perspective, what I would say is, like, as a human, we have seen a lot of situations, and we all equally smart people. We as a team, including government, is open to support. And this is a first stimulus package, 2 trillion package US have ever done it. So everyone is understanding the situation, and everyone is willing to help. And I'm in India right now, and people are volunteering to support in any way possible. So same way it is happening in US. As a human by nature, we all will come out of the situation. That will be a short-term problem, but don't lose hope. And I'm sure, we as a team, humans, will come out of the situation. That is from my perspective. And panelists, you would like to add any thoughts to that?
Yeah,
I think
so
you summarized it well, so that's fine for me.
Yeah, we have seen so many natural calamities in the past. So as a human now, like, with the advanced technology we have in our hand, and a lot of AI technology, a lot of things are available right now. So I think it's actually only when that is a question, but it's not like how, or like whether we are going to do that or not. Only a question is, like, when are we going to come out? That's it.
Gotcha. Thank you. Tamizhvanan sir, please go ahead.
In my perspective, that in previously that we faced that all financial crises, and this one is unique. Now that we are facing that human crisis, that triggered that significant economic down, or that financial shock it is giving, rather than that normally that we saw that in previous crisis and all, that in the reverse direction. Now it is that the human crisis that gives that this one, that we have to be very careful on this situation to handle this and come out of this one, and rather than that this thinking about that business, this one, that it is also required. And foremost thing is that our life is more important this juncture.
So I want to add one dark humor which I was reading yesterday in WhatsApp. So it says like, people are buying all the essential items now. People are buying like, whatever the essential items they are buying now, but that in contradictory economy is going down. So which means economy is up and run only when we are buying non-essential items. So it's a contradict, like, it's kind of what you can say, when you're buying a lot of essential items, why the economy is not going up, which means like, we are spending a lot on other non-essential items. So that's where like an
Very
economy is booming, when we are saying, yeah, because now we are not going for a restaurant, and we are not going outside, we are not going to do any outside activity, we are not going for a tour or anything, we are just in a survival mode. So it's a little tricky here.
Yes, aviation sector completely closed down, and hotel industry completely closed down, and that is leisure industries, cruise, everything is gone down. No, that it is a chain of
No,
everything.
that's why, like, when you are focusing only on the essential items, then economy is not going to boom. That is what we are seeing that now, right? So now I'm not
Yes.
going to Starbucks and spending like, $5 for a coffee, right? I'm just making coffee at home. So then that's a simple, like, I'm not spending, for my dinner on Friday evening or Saturday evening with family in outside restaurant. Rather, I'm preparing at home. So which means we are doing only the essential items for our, because even now, like, we are not suffering. We are, whatever it's we are making at home. But only thing is like, we are spending a lot of time with family, we are spending a lot of time with kids, and we have a lot of time to read ourselves, and read and improving ourselves skills and everything. We have a time to do that. But once it's like, it's the virus. Yeah, I think Tupil wanted to add something.
After you finish. But I know all your points are very good. I'm only worried some of them might be here permanently to stay because change of lifestyle is happening. They're learning from it.
Yeah.
So in that respect, it could affect the economy because communities are getting together. We're getting to know our neighbors much better and spending time and other things. So that lifestyle could change as a result of this thing. That's all.
Right, and technology is helping us a lot. So that, like, Zoom is the
Exactly.
company which is the shares are going up in the very high. But now the even other companies even in India and anywhere in the US, they are understanding now, like, they can sustain, and they
Hmm.
can still engage employees. They know
Yeah.
how to engage employees now, and they are all conducting Zoom meetings. They are all conducting, like, not only for work, just they are asking people to come in a Zoom meeting. Just they are saying, "Hey, what have you done today?" Just some fun facts, because they wanted to see the faces each other. And now even our, my company, like, I used to say that, no, I have to go to office every day, man. Otherwise, like, I cannot run the company. But now the last 10 days, like, we are running the company virtually. Everybody's working, and we are
Right.
doing the Zoom meetings, and that the things are not stopping. The work is not stopping. It's going on, and we are saving a lot of time in traffic. We are spending a lot of time on the traffic, and dressing up, and then doing all preparation work. Like, it's gone. Like, at least 1 or 2 hours every day we are saving towards that. Yeah.
Good. Tamil sir, go ahead, please. Sorry.
This reminds me that one thing here back in 2000 and all that, even India, China and all that, self-sufficient economy towards that one. தற்சார்பு பொருளாதாரத்துல தான் இருந்தோம். இப்போ as if that Anand told, no, so I'm making coffee at my home and dinner at home, my home, that we are not going out. So remember in that olden days, everything that we have self-satisfied in that this thing, and 2000 onwards only that this liberalization is come. தாராளமயமாக்கல் அப்படிங்கிறதுல வந்து உலக பொருளாதாரத்துக்கு வந்தோம் நம்ம. In China also, WTO in 2000, early 2000 only. Now it's a developed economy. So நம்ம இப்ப திருப்பி வந்து இந்த தற்சார்பு பொருளாதாரத்தை நோக்கி போறோமோங்கிறது, அந்த கொரோனா வந்து நம்மள அங்க தள்ளிடுச்சோ அப்படின்னு நினைக்கிறேன் நான்.
But lot of changes. நிறைய பேர் இந்த நேச்சர் பாருங்க, பறவைலாம் வெளியில வருது, மான்லாம் வந்து இதுக்குள்ள விளையாடுது, அதெல்லாம் சொல்றாங்க. சரி, பட் அதுக்கப்புறம் கடலுக்கு போகாம இருக்க போறது இல்ல. But we are seeing different colors, as you say. I have to pull said, it's giving a different meaning. for humankind? I'm sure there is a lot of going to.
இல்ல நம்ம ஹியூமன் வந்து கொஞ்ச நாள் வந்து அவங்களுக்கு வந்து நம்ம வேர்ல்ட ரெண்ட்டுக்கு விட்டுருக்கோம். அவங்க எல்லாம் வந்து ஜஸ்ட் they can enjoy. ஆமா, அதுக்கப்புறம் திருப்பி போய் நம்ம ஆக்குபை பண்ணிடுவோம், அவங்க எல்லாம் விரட்டிடுவோம் நம்ம.
அது கரெக்ட்டுங்க. பொல்யூஷன்ஸ் எல்லாம் கம்மியா இருக்கு. பட் more than anything, I want to add one serious note that people are taking it light about going outside, staying safe, keeping social distance. And I'm humbly requesting everyone, if you have any friends, American friends, please educate them as well. So we have few more questions, before we wrap it up. Let us quickly go through those questions. So a few more questions, and so this is the questions, and I will let me read it. If we avail the benefits talked here, example stimulus pay, etc., example by an immigrant non-citizen, will this count last as a federal benefit or considered towards public charge provision, or that is considered rebates? If they are not a citizen, first point is they are an H-1B or anything, you said US employees, right? So the first point is a non-citizen can avail this benefit. And how it's going to
anyone as simple as is like anyone has SSN, they can apply. Non-citizen and H-1B workers, L1 workers, students, they can apply and get it. But I think I understand this question, like is there if I take this benefit stimulus package, and will there be any issue later part when I'm going for immigration or when I go for green card process or anything, like a lot of people are misunderstanding between that unemployment and then this stimulus check. So even I think in last week's session also, like the same confusion happened, like people are thinking if I take the stimulus check, like and I go for a green card process, like I should not hide this, or I should not say this, like hey, I took the benefit from the federal, because there is a question, I think, like have you taken any federal government benefits or so. But this is something different. This is not unemployment benefit, or this is not something that you are applying for it. So this is similar, like US government is handling as like how they have done in 2008, same way that they are sending the checks to all the people, or all the taxpayers, I would say it rightly. So all the taxpayers, they are sending this check or direct deposit, they are doing it directly from IRS. So you are not going to impact in your green card process or towards any other process. So this is something that a grant that government is giving to you, just you can take and you can utilize it for your necessities. That's it.
Thank you. Tupil sir, do you want to add any points, or your?
No, Arun said it very nicely. It's voluntary. You didn't even ask for it. They are giving it to you.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay. Great. So the next question is, many new rules are coming for home buyers and refinance. For refinance, some homes can get only exterior appraisal, or yes, we can't put clothes on hold, and many things, life, vacations of employment also change. So the question is, many rules are coming from home buyers and refinance. For refinance, some homes can get only exterior appraisal. I don't know what that means. Can Anand or anyone can jump in and answer this?
I'm not sure about what the intent of this question. Even if that they're asking anything about the refinance or appraisal and all, and probably they have to check with their lender or some realtor. I think that they are the right professional to answer this question. So it's better, like they can check with the realtor or maybe the bank.
Okay. Great. So the next question is very simple question. So what is saying is, what happened? Are you guys referring only to IT, or is it a non-IT also? Can you please put more lights of IT sector, or IT sector?
I think that's question for Arun.
So can you put more light rebounding of IT sector? As you said, requirements always changes. When human lifestyle, business operation changes, and the requirements changes, and obviously with current technology and business process, IT is something is, they have to live with it. So obviously, in my perspective, a lot of IT support is required after this recovery. That is my perspective. There is a lot of changes going to happen in the business operations, in the business style, a lot of updates, and also there is a lot of new innovation is going to come. When you look into a lot of companies, like including Airbnb, many companies who came through recession period. So in my perspective, every company is going to respond to this recession, and IT is something which they got to do. So in my perspective, there are going to be a lot of opportunity for IT sector.
Yeah, I just have a question more than an answer. Is a lot of the small IT companies, the term called benching and things like that, right? They can't afford it for the next several months. Would they be able to survive, rehire the people and do it? Because they may have to. I don't know what will happen for small companies where the cash is an issue.
It depends on how financially that company CEO of the management planned it. For time being, even if they won't let it go, they have to let it go. But after then, immediately they will hire back.
Okay.
And that is what initially I told, all IT people know it's time for you to sharpen your, knowledge. If you want to find anything new and going to stay up to date, I think it's time for you to start focusing on it. One day or another, you may get a call saying that, hey, sorry, buddy, I'm not able to afford to keep you. But, immediately says, okay, no worries, but this is a skill set I developed. Okay, no worries, I have this new project, I can move you there. So there's just changes is going to happen, but on IT sector, I see a lot of opportunity to come up.
The reason why I asked is I know many companies, the first thing they do is to stop the contract employees. And most of the contract employees come from the IT side. I already know that some companies have implemented that. That means their company, whomever they're loaning these people to or billing them, they have to manage that somehow or other until everything rebounds back. But I think you've covered it. You can move on to the next topic.
So I wanted to add one point here. So if there are two in IT company, when you say IT sector, there are, big giant companies like Infosys, Cognizant, and we don't need to, we don't need to worry about them, or they already have the plan, like how they have to cut the cost, and that's how they did in 2008, right? So a lot of companies, they laid off their employees, and some companies, they said, instead of laying off, because it's very hard to get that skill set from the market again. So once you lose a job, once you lose that employee, very highly skilled employee, it's very hard to get back that kind of guy from the market, and all the time, that energy and money that you spent towards that employee on the training and updating the knowledge and skill set, it's all going to be trashed. So a lot of companies, they have done what they have done is they cut the cost, they cut the pay, 50% of the pay. Say they are telling, hey, instead of sending you out, I'm cutting your salary 50% time being for a 6 months or 1 year. Then once we come back, when the economy is booming, then I'll, we will come back. We will give you as a bonus, and we will compensate that. So this is what I have seen, that the trend happened in 2008 for the small IT companies, especially that the company has less than 100 employees. This is how they managed it, because the less than 100 employees, like a startup companies, especially less than 50 or less than 100 employees, the startup companies, they were very jam packed. Only the highly skilled people are in their company. It's not, they cannot spend the bench time. They cannot spend the QA tester, multiple testers in offshore and all. So those companies, this is what they have done. Even one of my friends, he had a startup company. He did the same thing. They cut the cost, even their own salary, even the employee salary, they everything 50% they cut the cost. So they survived during the time. And now this is the SCARES Act and everything. For example, I would suggest that employees, if you're a small IT company employee and it's a less than 500 count, less than 500 employees in your company, and if the employer is saying that, hey, I want to send you out because I cannot afford your pay, then you can let them know, saying that there is a CARES Act. It's a less than 500 employees, means you can apply for this paycheck protection program. So the paycheck protection program, allows you to apply for 8 weeks of payroll cost. So still you can keep me for next 8 weeks, or like if you already fired me, you can go back to your employer and you can say that you can rehire me and then count me in your paycheck protection program, so that the 8 weeks I will be survived, and maybe it might extend. That is, we are not sure at this time. So that is an option. If you thinking about your company or your employer is trying to laying off, or if they are having any plans, you can talk to your employer saying that under this program they can apply and get the benefit. So it's a forgiveness program. So if they are not aware about it, still you can educate them. Yeah.
Got it. I think that is a good. Thank you, Anand. Thank you. So the next question is, let me read it, kind of long. Hey, thanks for all the hard work you guys are putting into this program. Question 1, our company is thinking of cutting 30% pay as a H-1B worker. Will I be okay? That is the first question. Second question is, working from home, how long is it allowed for H-1Bs? This is critical, because if they can't let it increase the vulnerability of H-1B, any suggestion? Can I go to India for a few months? I don't know. They asked 3 questions, but I think that we can go one by one. Our company is thinking of cutting 30% pay as a H-1B worker. Will that be okay? So I don't know whether this is an immigration attorney question or this is something you can answer. So any panelist can jump in and answer this, please.
So yeah, I'll take that. I'm trying to, because as you said, this is a immigration attorney question. But if that company is thinking to cutting off 30% pay, then I mean, I'm sure every H-1B employer, they are going with wage level, right? So wage level, wage 1, 2, 3, there are certain levels based on the skill set. So if it's a wage level 1, there is some certain minimum pay they have to pay, the employer side, right? So wage level 2 and 3 and all, there is a minimum pay. So as long as that minimum pay is being, entertained, then I don't think so. It's a problem for both employer and employer. So this is again subject to immigration attorney can answer. But for example, the wage level 1, it's 63K. For example, I'm throwing some number. If it's a 63K, then that employee is getting 100K, for example. So if that employer is saying that, hey, you are according to your wage level, I supposed to pay only 60K, but you're getting 100K because you have a good skill. Now I'm going to cut that down. So I'm going to pay only as per that government rules specified in the law, just a 60K I'm going to pay now. So which means still they can be an H-1B employer, still they can, they are coming under law, they are, following the law. But only thing is you are not getting that, based on your skill set. So this is a different story. Maybe I think that's what he's mentioning, but it's still possible. And working from home, how long it's been allowed? And again, it's at this time, as long as the government is putting that stay at, shelter order goes, they can work from home, and the USCIS is allowing that, and that is my reading. And the USDA is saying that you don't need to apply for that LCA separately right now. So as long as it goes until that everybody's following, because a lot of folks are traveling and to the client site, and if they say I'm going to stay at home for more than 8 weeks or 5 weeks time, should I apply for LCA? This is one of the questions that I was reading in some forum, and they said you don't need to apply for a separate LCA. Yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you so much.
I think there was one more question. Third question they asked.
Yeah, can go to India for a few months is the third question.
It's totally, it's a personal perspective. Yeah.
Yeah, I would advise not to go in my perspective, because travel is not in your hands. So I got stuck here, and U.S. Embassy is arranging a special flight next week. So I'm planning to use that to come back to U.S. So I don't think so. In this situation, I would not recommend.
Arun, I have a question on that. So why can't you give that probably a quick answer to the people who are watching now? How this, the people who got stuck in India. I heard that only for U.S. citizen and green card holders, government is arranging some special flight. but not all the major international airports. Like it goes to some only certain airports, and you have to take a flight, local flight,
Yeah.
and come to your town.
Yes. So I can answer that because I'm going through that. So that is only next
No, that
week.
also comes under this COVID-19 topic. So yeah.
Yes. So there is a two destination, one from Delhi to San Francisco. That is a 3 flights flying next week, and then they are domestically trying to arrange a domestic flight within India so they can go and catch this Delhi flight. And then there is another segment from Mumbai to Atlanta. There is a 2 flight. One is going day after tomorrow. The next one is on 10th, I guess. So we are planning to catch the 10th flight, and there is a flight from Chennai, and there is a flight from Bangalore to Mumbai, and Chennai to Mumbai is also there. So once you know what we applied for it, once they give the confirmation, I have to go get it approved by collectorate so I can drive to Chennai and then go there and then get the flight, land in Atlanta. As soon as I land in Atlanta, they say it's my responsibility to go to Dallas. So probably I have to drive, or I have to I have to get a domestic flight from Atlanta to Dallas. So that is the arrangement, and it is not a regular flight way. And they say and also regarding the cost, they say it will be 2,000 and plus. I don't have to pay now, but they will consider that as a loan which is connected to your passport. So you should pay that before you renew the passport. That is what I read in their terms. So this is what my insights on when you get stuck here. And the citizenship and green card, I think they are allowing it. They are also allowing, but in some questionnaire, they also ask, if you're a visa holder, you have to provide the paperwork to do that. But I don't know, but always they call that as a citizenship program. So I don't know is the answer, but you can email embassy and ask for the clarification.
Hey, Ranjan.
Thank you. So the next question is probably Anand. This is for Anand. And any tax advantage for using home as a base for W2 in 2020? Pretty much I'm using my internet, pretty much I'm using my electricity, I'm working from home. Can I get the benefit out of it in W2? That is what the question is. Anand, you can answer it.
I will let Tupil to answer this question. So.
Oh, okay. Sir?
Yeah.
Question is
Absolutely not. There is no benefit at all if you're a W2 person. Yeah.
Okay. So don't imagine of claiming your electricity and internet cost.
No.
So that is
if you're self-employed and doing a lot of other things, yeah, you got a lot of those things, but not. Yeah, even then they'll come under some kind of a 2% miscellaneous if you do something.
Yeah, got it. So I think we are in the last 2 questions. Sakti is keep adding questions to us. And Sakti, I think we can take 2 more questions, I think. So this next question is, Texas housing market was high for the last few years. With the current situation, how it will be for next few years? Saktivel Ramswamy is asking for specific to the Texas, how that home market will be. Any panelists would like to pick that answer? Tamizhvanan sir, you want to pick an answer that?
No, I have no idea about the Texas housing market.
Okay.
Because basically that we are not dealing that retail segment. So that's why that I don't have any idea about that.
One thing here is I would look into the property tax valuations for the homes. So the prices have gone down or less market for them. That might be one advantage for 2020 to lower your property tax.
Yeah, that is one way to see that, yes, sir, absolutely. But if you're not trying to sell home for now, you don't have to worry about the valuation at all. So the next question is, what are, I don't know what exactly they type, probably consider, let me say consider as essential expenses other than the rent and utility, like we have janitor expenses, kitchen, etc. I don't know why they're asking this. Anand, do you have any question?
So
Any idea?
I'm reading what are all the considered as an essential expenses other than rent and utility. We have a janitor. Yeah, I'm not understanding the question fully, but if they are,
Yeah, I think they're asking about the loan forgiveness here. I believe that's the only area this is applicable. There are only certain expenses that are allowed for loan forgiving, and utility is one of them. Rent, mortgage are also one, but I have not seen janitorial and kitchen expenses. Most of the time, janitorial kitchen expenses are 199 type, and I have not seen them. If that is the intent and see what is going to be forgiven, then that is the answer.
yeah.
Okay, awesome, sir. So the next question is, can we claim unemployment benefit during furlough period?
Yes.
So any panel to get this?
Yeah, Tupil sir.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it very clearly says not only furloughed people, if you have a reduced salary, there's a special provision to apply for unemployment benefits on that.
Yeah, so
So
I
can you
one more.
elaborate? Period. Everyone will be comfortable with that statement, or you want to elaborate on that, Sunil?
What do you mean? I'm saying if you're furloughed, yes, you can apply for unemployment tax from the date you. That it is also they are backdating it, so you'll get it retroactively also. Again, it all depends on the state. The federal is saying all that they'll give the money to the state. And if you say somebody said if you're making $100,000, they're reducing it to $50,000, like the IT companies that Anand suggested. Even in those cases, you can apply for extra benefit unemployment for part time and reduce salary. So it's a lot of leeway here.
So I want to add a couple of points. So this is applicable for self-employed and freelancers, mainly the people who are working from home, and even you're not laid off, but if your company is asking you to stay at home, for a long situation like that. So any individual can apply, and it's $600 per week. That is the limit, and it can be up to 4 months. Yeah.
Okay, so the next question is interesting. Claiming unemployment benefits affects anything in naturalization process? I don't know whether we can answer this, but I will let panel to decide that.
It's an immigration attorney question at this time, but in general, before COVID and after COVID, we can talk. Before COVID, I think this is going to be a fact, yes. But now this COVID situation, a lot of rules, a lot of laws, they're waiving. So maybe this is one of the area that he has to check with attorney, immigration attorney, whether it's waiving, it's anything that he can answer.
Since I've recently gone through that process, if you have, I can little bit add some thoughts on that. If you have completed your interview, I don't think so anything is going to change. And all they are going to ask is whether you have paid your tax properly or not. That's all they're worried about. You have any criminal background or anything. I'm not an attorney, but since I went through that process, I can say that, and I don't think so this is going to affect. As long as you don't have any tax issues, I think you should be good. That is my personal experience and knowledge. It is not any recommendation for you to decide. As Anand said, please get clarification from attorney.
Yeah, and one more point that I wanted to add here, I'm just on behalf of all the panelists here. So we are all having a discussion here. So don't take this as a final, consultation or final advice. So we are discussing and whatever the knowledge, because if you see that in the last 2 weeks, a lot of rules and laws are getting changed every hour and every day. So even for interest rate, if you are asking me a week back about the paycheck protection program, they said initially 4%, and over the night they changed it to 1%, and then by the next day morning they changed it to 0.5%. So take this as an advice, or just consultation, a preliminary consultation, and you can always you go back and discuss with the your tax attorney or your CPA, and take the professional help. Like, at this situation, a lot of things are changing every day. So don't consider this like, hey, Tupil said this, and then so that's why I'm applying this, like that. So I'm just saying that this is not a tax advisor. This is not a final consultation that we are trying to give. This is just we are giving that awareness to the community, saying that, hey, these are all the things going outside, because we are the professional working in this our area. Like, we are getting a lot of calls, a lot of questions from different sectors, different employers and employees side. So we are trying to bring it together and saying that, okay, this is what happening outside if you're not focusing on. So we are giving giving some light, so you can you do your own research, and you can get the professional help. I just want to add this point. Yeah.
I agree, completely agree. We're not giving any advice. This is a discussion point. Use this as a reference, maybe, but any final decision should be taken only after consulting your attorneys, your tax advisory, investment advisory, whoever you have. So please have this disclaimer clear.
Yeah.
So the next question is related to the investment. Sorry, Tupil, go ahead. Tupil, sir, go ahead.
Yeah, I saw that. Wash sales rules is what it is if you sell and buy a stock within 30 days, it would be considered as not having sold anything at all. You don't recognize the loss out of that thing. Yes, it will be considered across all after tax account. If your IRA account is a pre-tax account, whatever you do there, you don't have any capital gain treatment or capital loss. Everything is ordinary income. So it'll only be across all your tax after tax account, not your IRA accounts.
Okay, awesome. So there's a last question. This one is Shakti. I know Shakti, who is helping us to coordinate all the questions. So this is the last question, Shakti. So 1 minute, I'm trying to add that in the system so that you all can see this question. It's kind of long questions, but I will read as well. Okay, so I am on H-1B and having FHA loan taken in 2016. Is it considered as a federal benefit causing trouble for green card application? If so, should I refinance? And if I refinance, will I lose my initial principal amount and the initial amount paid? Is it a good time to refinance? I think that is two questions here. Tamil sir, you want to take it? Loan related, bank related?
No, I'm seeing that it's causing the trouble for the green card application. That angle, I don't see. I have no idea about that. Any other panelists you want to take?
No, I have no idea.
No idea about that.
Okay, so sorry, team, whoever asked the question. We are not, we don't have insights on this question. But for refinance, one thing I can say is like pay close attention. Most of the refinancing, the principal whatever you paid, it will be gone, and so try to make an informed decision. Really get a good consultant on refinancing and then make a decision. So don't make emotional decisions since you are paying less interest now. Pay close attention of what happened to the principal, and it depends on the loan agreement, loan arrangements. So we would personally advise you to, take part in get a consulting advice and then go from there. So thank you, panelists. And so we have answered. I think we have answered close to 30 questions and shared our thoughts. So I'm requesting each and every panelist to share your final thoughts, and then we can end the session.
Yeah, Tupil, sir.
Okay. I'll go first. Again, thank you for the opportunity. As a panelist, I learned a lot from the responses provided by the other panelists and even the type of questions that are asked. Very entertaining and very nice. Once again, thank you very much. If somebody has any questions on tax, I do give free consultation for people on certain matters. They can get the information from Arun.
Yeah, sure, definitely, definitely. Tupul sir, if if people wanted to reach you, do you want to share your contact information now, or how do they can, reach you? Do you want them to reach at all? I don't know.
No, no, they can reach me through you guys. Since you have set it up and you have all
Okay.
my information, they can contact you instead of having several stuff to me.
Okay, so then team, if you want to have any contact information about this panelist, please email info@dfwmts.com. I'm repeating again, info@dfw@mts.com, and we will share the panelist information. And there is a one question, I think it is for us just good to answer it. So this is the question. My question is related to, yeah, I think we have answered that. Sorry, I overlooked it. I think we have answered it. Okay, so awesome. Thank you, Tripul sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Tamizhvanan sir, please, your final thoughts.
For giving this opportunity to share that views is a very exciting moment for me also.
Thank you, Tamizhvanan sir. Anand, please, if you want to share your final thoughts.
Yeah, so thank you, Metroplex Tamil for this coordination, and thank you all panelists for spending their Sunday afternoon, almost like 2 hours of the family time, on this to answer all the questions, and beautifully, Arun, thank you, and also I want to say thank to the backstage performance of Shakti and Jawahar. So they all beautifully coordinated this event, and it's really that this platform is really good, and especially the Metroplex Tamil Shingam, they are doing the awareness program, community awareness program like this. A lot of I would say, this is one of the best programs they are doing it, especially in this COVID-19 situation, that they have conducted last week. They have conducted one session for immigration with all the attorneys. They are coming together and they are answering. And now this week, we are talking about this. Probably a lot more will come. So this is truly, it's a community service. So I definitely I hats off to Arun and all other coordinators here. And also thank you for giving this opportunity to talk in front of all the big audience here. So this is, as I said, the CARES Act we are talking about. I want to emphasize these, things again. This economic injury disaster loan and the paycheck protection program loan. So these are the two hot kicks now for small business owners. If you're a small business owner and if you want to take advantage of this loan, so I'm taking a some little advantage here because I'm trying to use this platform, and also, so please contact us. My number is 214-430-6313, and also you can write an email directly to me, that Anand, ANANDP @mytaxfiler.com. So we will help you on putting the strategies in place, how to take maximum benefits out of this paycheck protection program, and also the economic injury disaster loan. We have a big team, 200-member team, and we also had set up a separate team for this COVID-19, the loans and grants. So we will guide you, because as I said, take the professional help. Even though the application is simple, looks simple, but behind that application there are a lot of calculations, and the right forms need to be attached. So take the professional help, and not only me, but any Tupil or any other CPAs are here. You can take a help from them, and don't try to do it yourself, because this is lot of benefit. It's a forgiveness loan, which means it's a free money. You don't want to regret later. And this is very time sensitive. As I said, 350 billion they allocated, and it's going to be in a week time. So the analysts are predicting that especially for a Bank of America, they opened this application on 8 o'clock Eastern time on morning, 8 o'clock on Friday. Within 1 hour, they got 60,000 applications. So you can understand this, this is kind of floodgate they opened Friday morning, and still a lot of banks are accepting applications. Still there is a time, and also there is a phase 5 will be probably there is a talk going on that President Trump will announce another 700 billion they are going to announce under the stimulus program. So which means like they're trying to save all the small business owners. So please take an advantage of this and reach out any one of us or for the guidance. And yeah, so thank you, Arun, for your wonderful coordination, and thank you all for your time on Sunday. Thank you.
Thank you, team. Really appreciate everyone, and we are seeing a lot of positive feedback. So I'm sharing it so everyone can see that this is a pure collaborating effort. And Anand, you rightly mentioned, Sakti and Javgar and all the executive members of Metroplex Tamil Sangam is behind the show, and Pirmal from Houston, also from the back they are working, coordinating all the questions back and forth. So it is a great team effort, and also Arun is working on to relying on the radio too. So people are listening in the radio as well. So once again, I'm requesting you to be part of MTS Radio family. You can download our app, or you can visit www.dfwmts.org to listen to the radio. It is a 24/7 radio, and we have a technical team from Coimbatore to support, make sure that is in a good stand. So if you have not listened to the radio, please take a few minutes to listen. And again, thank you so much. And by this, we are concluding the show. And please share your feedback to info@wmts.org, or you can give a comment as well. Thank you, team. Thank you so much. Thank you, panelists.
Thank you so much. Thank you all. Stay safe.